This video's response to the Amazing Atheist video, States' Rights a Raw Deal. TJ, I don't agree with you even a little bit when you say that we need to have the individual rights, where the individual needs to make all the decisions as long as you have the consenting clause. I mean, that sounds really good on paper, as they say, but it just doesn't work. Because when people make their own individual decisions completely carte blanche, you end up with people doing like heroin, and then they can't afford the heroin, so they start robbing houses, etc., etc. Gets really bad there. Now, the government does not need to legislate personal lives, say in the bedroom, whatever. I am a proponent for gay marriage. I think gay people should be allowed to get married and suffer alone just like the rest of us. Let me go back a little bit here as to the forms of government. I do agree with state rights. I think we need to have stronger state rights and less federal involvement in the state rights. The federal government was designed to temper state rights. State rights were supposed to be the law of the land and the ruling party, if you will, over the people, while the federal government kind of kept that in check. And to some extent, that's worked. I mean, the civil rights that you kept going on about in the video, George Wallace was shut down. I mean, troops were sent in to forcibly desegregate high schools, and we end up amending the Constitution. And that's the beautiful thing about the Constitution. It's a flexible document. We can amend it. I mean, when the Constitution was first written, slavery of other human beings was legal in this country. And it took a constitutional amendment, granted, and a civil war to change that. Then it took constitutional amendments to ban discrimination against people just because of different color. And that's what I believe it's going to take. We need a constitutional amendment to ban discriminating against people because of what they like to do in their bedroom. Let people do in their bedroom what they will, as long as it's not hurt anyone and they're consenting, like you say. Then yeah, go for it, have at it. But the government shouldn't have to be the one to say, okay, yes, you can do this. But it's what would come down to. The government needs to step in and say, yes, you can do this, and to deny someone employment or discriminate against them in any way because of what they like to do in their bedroom is wrong. It shouldn't be allowed. I don't believe the individualism idea can work. I think it's kind of like the Goldilocks idea. Individual style of government where it's just you do whatever you want, that's too small. That's not enough government. Federal government where we have this massive federal government and they're ruling over all of us and trumping state rights, where you have federal DEA agents raiding dispensaries in California and Washington because California and Washington have legal medicinal marijuana laws. That's wrong. If a state says, hey, marijuana is legal, then the federal government needs to shut the fuck up and leave it alone because it's none of their goddamn business. Especially since they could get a tax out of it. They can make a lot of money off it. State laws, I think, are kind of like the happy middle ground where we need to be. We need to have more state laws involvement and less of the federal. And I'm sorry, but the individual way just doesn't work. There's not enough structure there. And as human beings, that's what we need. We want structure to our lives. And that's pretty much all I have to say. All right. Thanks. Bye.